You're now listening to Lounge Radio.
Hi guys, and welcome back to Stained Glass Sessions. We are at episode 5. We've hit a milestone, hey? Episode 5. We've come a long way, guys. We've come a long way. Today's topic is all about the baby mamas and the baby daddies. Yes. So today's question is, how do you feel dating someone that has a child? You know, in terms of, obviously we're going to look at it from the perspective of a woman because we're both women and we both don't have kids. So we're going to look at it from that perspective of a woman. How do you feel about dating a man that has a child and has a very good relationship with his baby mama? It's not one in a case whereby the baby mama is late or she's not involved in the child's life. No, baby mama is definitely involved. She's a good mother. She's there for her child. What are the views on that? So that's what today's topic is all about. So stay tuned and listen in.
LoungeRadio.co.
But yeah, like how does it feel? Or are you okay with dating a guy that has a child and that child doesn't live with him? Obviously the child stays with the mother, for example, and this guy and the mother get along very well. They actually, we could go as far as saying they're good friends, maybe. Mm-hmm. They really, really have this beautiful relationship that you can't take away. And obviously, nobody really wants to take that away from them because, dude, a child deserves to have both their parents in Mpumalanga. They deserve to see both mom and dad go out to dinner, you know, taking them out on vacations and stuff like that. And at this point, maybe I'm childish about it, maybe I'm being insecure or whatever, but I really don't think it makes me feel comfortable to know that a man has a child. And I don't know how comfortable I feel about dating a guy that has a child, because especially if that child stays with the baby mama. Because at the end of the day...
So don't say especially if, but
I think especially if. But it's better if, let's say, the child stays with the daddy and the baby mama, maybe she's
that's
there
even
also.
worse. No.
But how is that worse?
It's worse because we're talking about that. What does that mean now? Every time I go to the guy, the child is there. I'm basically a stepmother.
But that's my whole thing. I don't mind the child. I think I was talking about the relationship that they might have.
Yeah, but still, it doesn't matter whether the baby's with the mother or the father.
It does matter.
The guy has a baby.
Okay, obviously the whole thing of the guy having a baby for me is also like, I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about a guy having a child, you know, outside of me and all of that stuff, because I think it brings a lot of complications into the relationship.
It does.
It brings a lot. But for me, I genuinely feel like it is worse when the child stays with the mother, because now it's the thing of, he always has to be there. Remember, he always has to be there for his child. Now, here's this thing of spending so much time with this other woman. Remember, that's his baby mama. Doesn't matter who you are, you can never replace that. You can never take that guy's place. Yeah. And obviously, as a girlfriend, or even as a wife, I don't think I would ever be ready to have kids because I feel like, no, I also want that attention. Definitely not. Because if I want to stay and let's say I get married, I want to get married and enjoy my marriage first before rushing to have kids. And I don't want to feel like there's pressure now for me to have kids.
I have to have,
Because, my husband has a baby mama and shit
elsewhere, and technically now we're together, so I should so much just give him a baby.
Exactly. And I don't want that. So it's like, I don't know how I feel about being with a guy that has a baby. It really doesn't sit well with me. And because I don't know,
I feel you.
Think about it, because I feel like if I were a baby mama and I had a child outside of marriage,
do you realize it was never really accepted? As in, before, it wasn't a regular thing. It wasn't he has a child. Oh, okay. Let's date either way. But these days, I think it happens so much. People have been having children out of wedlock or whatever. Mm-hmm. To the point where we even accept, like, at least he has one child. Okay, now let's actually...
As if that makes it better, though.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, because... I don't know. I think when it happens a lot, you're sort of forced to make it a norm, which makes it okay. And it isn't.
And I don't think I'm comfortable with the whole idea of somebody having a child while I don't have a child. I don't think I feel comfortable with that.
Right?
Like having a child is a lot. Do you know what I mean? And I think, not to good say, I know as women we're supposed to have this thing where we are supposed to be okay with raising kids. But for me, it's like, I don't know how comfortable I feel about raising someone else's child when I don't have a child. of my own. Because I think there's a reason why I don't have a child at that point in time. I'm choosing not to have kids. That's why I can say I'm not the type to rush to have kids right now, because I don't want kids right now. I'm not looking to have kids anytime soon, really. And I think it's going to be like that for the longest time. So if I now meet this guy and he already has a child, no.
It complicates everything.
It does complicate a lot of things.
Being a stepmother is just...
Being a stepmother is a lot.
Because at first there's a stigma. Not a stigma, what do you call it? Okay, I forgot. But then still there's this thing, you would see stepmothers are cruel. Mm-hmm. And you always kind of have to overplay that role, as in you always have to prove, no, you're actually not that bad or whatever. Imagine trying to reach out to the baby mama and they might think you have bad intentions. And now
you gotta prove yourself to everybody.
Exactly. And totally, you're not even a bad person, but now you have to you have to overprove yourself. Now it's like,
and they put this thing on you where they're like, yeah, but you have to accept a man with everything that it comes with. And I don't think I'm okay with that.
I understand the rest of the bullshit, but children.
There's a lot that comes, because I feel like if I have a child and you have a child and we come together and raise our kids together, that's different.
People usually say it's in the name of love. That's why
in the name of love,
it's easy to accept Usindoda as a child elsewhere. It's in the name of love, apparently.
But the thing is, it's just, I don't think it works the way we make it seem as if it's gonna work, and how cute we make it seem as if it's gonna be. I really do not think it is that cute. I really do not. Unless maybe I'm just the kind of person that I am, and I guess I think the way I do, but I don't know how comfortable I feel with my man and another woman sitting together at a restaurant having dinner with their child. Mm-hmm. For me, it's the thing that would see, there's a reason you guys have a child. Let's start there. And now you guys are sitting here spending all of this time together, all in the name of raising a child together.
You might reconnect,
And then there's that. Now I've wasted 2-3 years of my life being with you, only for you to go back to your baby mama. Call me insecure if you may. I really don't care at this point. For me, it's a thing of, just as I feel like other people would not be comfortable with their girlfriends hanging out with their baby daddies, in the same manner. But at the same time, I don't want to be that girl who's gonna be like, not like telling you not to hang out with your baby mama. You see, because I don't want that. I want you to hang out with your baby mama. I want you to, because give this child a normal life. You know, let them experience what it's like to have mom and dad.
Imagine if you voiced that out to your boyfriend or husband or whatever. What are they gonna think?
Well, obviously gonna think you're jealous.
Jealous.
You're
and
insecure,
then the whole exactly. And then imagine he runs to tell baby mom, but my girlfriend doesn't really like me spending so much time with her. Exactly. And then that's where it starts.
Now she's gonna have this
now
thing.
The conflict
I don't want him to hang out with his child, or I don't want him to raise his child. I don't want him to support his child. And that's not even the case. That's not even the case. At the end of the day, we all know what it's like. Just in the same manner that I don't think I would feel comfortable with my man hanging out with other females. At the end of the day, as a baby mama, you are another female. The only difference between you and other females is that you're this man's child. Otherwise, you are still another female. The fact that he could bang you once and get you pregnant for me is enough. Like, I feel like that's just it. And it's even worse if you guys dated and you had a relationship and it was like a strong one. Like, you guys really had a good relationship. Because I feel like feelings, if they are real, they never really die out that easily. And a child, honestly, sometimes has the power to bring two people closer. People don't realize how, like, the power that comes with a child, but sometimes, honestly, not all the time, obviously not in all cases, but in certain cases, having a child with somebody can literally bring you guys closer together. And I don't know how comfortable I feel with that whole thing. You would see you guys are hanging out together, you go on vacations now, you're doing all of these things together, and at the end of the day, I also don't want to deprive that child the chance to. And really, as it's always said, nobody can love a child more than their mother.
Right.
At the end of the day, the mother will always love their child more than anything. And she will always feel like, Mina, I'm not good enough for them. Then I just feel like, there's just gonna be a thing of, I'm trying to replace, exactly. You can never replace my child. You can never love my child more than I do.
What happens when say now, okay, the child comes to visit because really they have to frequent my house and then back to baby mama. And then what happens when the child starts liking you? You know? Isn't that complicated also? It's just like, oh, she's so cool. Because obviously, remember, you're trying to oversell yourself. So you're doing all of these things because kids love pretty things. So it's like, you're playing ice cream, you're cooking nice dinners, I want to
you do all of this nice things for them,
because
you know?
you're trying to prove I'm not as bad as I seem.
Exactly. I'm actually a good person.
Exactly. And then Umtana might, you know, because I don't know, children can't really comprehend things exactly
the way that
they
adults
are.
do.
Exactly. So Umtana would think she loves me more because she's buying me candy and she's buying me. Umtana gets home.
She talks to her mom.
They start venting. And then imagine, mama's like, or the child's like, Mom, can I have ice cream? It's like, no, it's late. And it's like, but at dad's house, my stepmom always allows me to eat ice cream at 11.
And now
it's a comparison thing. It's like, what are you teaching my child?
Thing.
Exactly.
And I think even with guys, it is a comparison thing on their side, because it's always like, how does my child get treated when my child is with the baby mama and when my child's with my girlfriend or my wife? There's also, and also I think it brings a lot of future problems as well, because now we've got our kids. Let's say maybe if me and the baby mama, let's say we don't get along for whatever reasons, because personally I would never try to not get along with the baby mama, but some baby mamas have this thing, you would see, I have both the children here and that's it, I don't have to get along with you, you're just a girlfriend, he's gonna dump you in a few months anyway, or in a few years. So let's say now things actually do work out and they got that far, and she's got this attitude now, she's busy feeding this child all of these things, putting ideas into his head, like, firstly, she's a bad person, don't listen to anything she says, don't do that, don't do this, she's not your mother, she can't tell you that, you know what I mean? Now this baby mama starts feeding this child all of these ideas, and this child comes to decide, now let's say I have another child of my own, now our kids will have problems whereby now they'll always be competing with each other for, because this is the child outside of marriage, this is the child in marriage, they share a dad, and now it's like my mom versus your mom. Because if we're being honest and genuinely honest with ourselves, it's not always like the kids outside of marriage get along with each other, or the kids from the different baby mamas get along with each other. They normally don't. And they normally because of the mothers. The mothers feed these kids all of these ideas. They feed them all of these things.
It's like this other meme. My mom said I mustn't eat in your house because I'm a lawyer. Exactly.
You see, it's that. And I don't think I feel comfortable also with knowing that Umdanami will sometimes have to go visit their siblings at your place. And a part of me will always be skeptical about my child going to your place. Because I know for a fact that you're probably not really happy that this guy is with me and no longer with you in the first place. So I really, really do not know what it is with guys that have kids, but maybe I'm childish for saying this.
Nah, I really do not think it's childish, honestly.
I don't want to.
I think it's fine to save yourself from all the
right
drama.
From all the drama.
It is completely normal. It is innocent,
and it's okay to not be with it.
Yeah, it's really okay.
Because I mean,
go find another man, honey.
Like being a stepmom to somebody's child. I love kids. Don't get me wrong. I love kids to death, and I would treat your child like my own.
That's the problem for me. I would oversell myself. I love children so much to the point where I'll even look like a kid, feel like a kid,
just to accommodate.
Exactly. And then I don't want to be compared. I do.
And there's also the competition now, because now it becomes a competition thing, especially when you don't have a child of your own. It becomes a thing you would see now. It's almost as if it seems like you are competing with the child.
Exactly.
Because if you ever said, yeah, but you cancelled our plans last week to go be with your child. You cancelling our plans again this week to go be with your child. You also cancelled our plans, Nini. And now it becomes a thing of, Mara, this woman.
And it's not like I'm trying, exactly, it's not like I'm trying to say.
And it's not like you're trying to do that. Sometimes it's just a thing, and I understand, a child will always come first. That's my problem. That's why I think I don't want a man with a child. Because I know for a fact Umdana could always come first, and I never wanted to seem as if I'm competing with your child, when I know very well that I'm not competing, because there is no competition. Remember, this is your child, this is your blood. And I am here to be your life partner, or to be somebody who's by your side. I'm there to be your better half. I'm not your child, I'm not your blood. So obviously your child will always be more important than me. But when it comes down to Abantana Ongabazali, man, it's always quite complicated. It's very, very complicated.
Nakona, even for the children, especially with men who change women.
Oh, that's the same. I think that's even the worst kind of it. Men that change women.
Exactly, because now this child, every time I figure Gibo, there's a new mother. Inverted commas, there's a new mother now. They always have to adjust and start liking the woman, and then when they eventually do, the dad has moved on to another one.
Then she's moving on to another. Then the dad is like, no, I got a new woman going. And that's another thing. Introducing your kids to every man that you date. And this is why I don't want to be a baby mama. Another reason why I don't want to be a baby mama, and I pray to God that it never happens. I mean, obviously I'm not saying it's never going to happen to me, because I'm no exception. to other girls. I'm just like any other girl. It could potentially happen to me too. But it's something that I obviously do not want and I do not wish for myself. And that is to be somebody's baby mama. Because I think having a child and knowing who my child has to switch between me and her father, it's gonna be an issue. Because now if you are somebody who constantly bring different women around, I don't think I want my child to experience that. Now my child come back, by the way, mommy, at daddy's place there was this lady, then next month umntana is telling me there was another lady.
And
kids talk.
And umntana will keep reporting
and
to the
kids
mother.
talk.
Because the mother will ask as if, because umntana akanagi, the mother will ask as if no, it's just a normal question. Daddy, no, she's trying to get information.
But even if I'm not trying to get information, I think just in general, for me, I won't party knowing that I have a child with this man and me and him are not together. I won't party. Do you know what I mean? Because there's a lot that comes with raising a child and having to make this child go back and forth between the two of us, and me having to accept the fact that you are going to have other partners, and you might find yourself with somebody who doesn't even like my child like that, somebody who actually is in competition with my child like that. Now I always have to worry about that. What is my child taken care of? When my child sleeps at your place for the weekend, I have to worry, does this woman treat her well? Also, there's that stress as a baby mama that you have. So I guess maybe that might drive to you feeling like I don't want my child there with that. Because think about it, we are looking at it from our perspective because we don't have kids. But let's look at it from a baby mama perspective. Why would the instances baby mama react in a way whereby she doesn't like you as a woman? What is it that's making her not like you? Because sometimes baby mamas have valid reasons for not liking stepmoms. They have valid reasons, and they've valid reasons why they don't want their kids around stepmothers. And it makes sense. And I think it's only fair to look at it from both perspectives. Look at it from the perspective of somebody who doesn't have a child and a woman who actually has a child, being the baby mama and being the stepmom in this case who doesn't have a child. I think there's that, because at the end of the day, if I were a mother, I also would not be comfortable with my child having to
meeting another woman,
meeting
you don't
all
even
of these
know
other women, and that I don't know, and my child spending a night at this house. Because guys, women can be very devious. Women can be very, very devious, and that's my whole thing, where I feel like I just don't feel comfortable with my child sleeping at another house knowing that another woman is gonna be there. You know what I mean? I think there's also that. If I were in that case of a baby mama, if I were in that position of being a baby mama, which is why I think maybe I also don't want a man with a child, because I feel like if we're gonna have kids, let's have our own kids. Let's focus on that as you and me. Let's not have to deal with you having to deal with my kids from outside and me having to deal with your kids from outside.
Okay, but what would happen if you meet a man, you fall in love with him, like as in you have almost like the best relationship ever for about a year or 2 years, and you actually finally decide like, okay, this is my man now. Like this is I'm gonna be loyal to this man, and then you find out he has a child. Say the child is now 5 or 6. What now? Do you stay? Do you leave?
Honestly, I would leave.
But why?
You lied to me.
Right.
You came into my life. Because when you walk into my life as a man, or even as a woman walking into my life, or anybody for that matter, when you walk into my life, I think telling me you have a child is one of the first things you should do.
Okay, but what if they're scared?
But now that's my problem. You're not giving me a choice. You decided to make that choice for me. You decided to stay and not tell me that you had a child. Now I had to find out through whatever means, or you ended up telling me, but now you've told me, and I don't know. I would definitely not stay because you lied to me.
Do you think he's supposed to tell you? Okay, how soon do you think he's supposed to tell you actually?
While we're still talking, when we're getting to know each other. You see, the minute we get here, when you ask me what I do for a living, also don't forget to ask me if I have kids.
I think
because
scared.
I will definitely ask you if
I
you
think
have
they're
kids.
scared because now they feel like it's sort of a red flag, just like we made it right now. Sort of like a thing with I'm definitely not going there. So for them, maybe they're scared, like, hey, it's a red flag and I'm taking a risk by even telling you this because I really like her now. But now I have a child and I can't.
But
really
you
take
not
that
telling
back.
me makes it worse. Because what if I was a woman who didn't want kids at all?
Right.
Now you've got me here with you and you're kind of
Okay,
now I'm in love with you and I'm all of
Yeah.
that, but now what makes you think I'm gonna treat your child the way I'm supposed to treat him?
Look
or
at
her?
it from their perspective though. Imagine, okay, because some men have morals, né? You meet a girl, you date, and then she's pregnant. All right, she's pregnant, and obviously you're gonna be like, keep the baby because you don't believe in abortion or all of that. So fine, she keeps the baby, but now it's not a thing of I love you anymore. It's like we broke up or we break up, Then we just leave it there. But now does that mean the man will never or should never look for love again because now ngumntwana?
No, definitely not. I did not say that. Listen though, I guess there are women out there. Listen, there are women out there who genuinely want men with kids. There are women who literally will say to you, do you have a child? I don't want a man that doesn't have a child because apparently having a child teaches you responsibility.
Very rare. I've never
apparently having a child teaches you responsibility. I've had women say this. I've had girls my age say this.
No.
Girls even younger than me say that they want a man who already has a child because apparently having a child teaches you responsibility in a way. I don't know. I would not know. I'm not going to comment on that. But that's what people say. And there are women who are comfortable with that, who will be like, you have a child?
My point is they're hard to find.
They may be hard to find, but they're there. I don't think they're hard to find. I think it's because we don't know them.
Yeah, but what if, as a man, I do not want that woman. I want this woman. But now, her mindset, she does not want a man with children.
But then that's the problem. Go want somebody that wants you. Why are you here wanting somebody that doesn't want you? I mean, it's like saying, Uguti, you want this specific woman. You want her. This is the lady that you want, But she tells you she doesn't want you. But you still keep going after her. Why?
Remember, you actually, you like each other. That's why I wanted to make the example of a 1-year relationship or 2. Like, you've known each other, you like each other, you click. It's amazing. It's fireworks.
Right.
But now the only obstacle is I like this guy, remember. This guy likes me. But he has a child, and I do not want to be a stepmom in any way. I know.
Okay, if you don't want to be a stepmom, then it's different. If you say that you genuinely don't want to be a stepmom in any way, I think there's a way to make that work. There's a way to make it work in terms of whenever it's a thing of he's with you, you never get to see this child, you never get to meet the child. Maybe you meet the child,
he will want to,
but that's it. You never get to hang out with the child. You never get to be around the child. Because remember, the child is a mother. The child is a mother at the end of the day. It's not like this child needs you. The child doesn't need you at all.
Yeah.
You meeting this child is the father's way of being like, since you're my new person, meet my child, because every now and then they're going to come around the house and maybe you're also going to be here.
Yeah.
I think it's that. But if you feel like you never want to, but this child is a mother. They don't need you.
Yeah.
So if you say you don't want a child at all, like you don't want nothing to do with no kids, then that's a different story. You can try and make it work. I'm not saying that I don't want your child at all. That's my problem. I mean, if you had a child and you came to me, I think I'd personally want to meet your child, especially not in the early stages, obviously. At the time when I feel like this relationship is really going somewhere. 3 years later, after dating, you can introduce me to your child. We can't be dating for 2 months and then you want me to meet your child. That's not going to happen. I don't want to meet your child at 2 months. You can't be here at 1 year. You want me to meet your child already. 1 year is still quite short, but I think I could make an exception depending on how strong our relationship is at that point in time. Because I feel like abantwana are really sensitive. So for us to get involved like that, I think firstly you need to make sure what you have with me is solid enough before you introduce me to your kids.
Right.
I want to know that they're there. I want to know that you have them, but you can't introduce me at that point in time. And I think Inkingham is a lap. Actually, I love kids a lot. So if you have a child, I definitely want to meet your child. I definitely want to bond with your child at some point in time in our relationship. So that's my problem now. I'm going to have to be faced with this reality. I'm going to literally be the one who allows you, who lets you do these things, who tells you, take Umtana out, no baby mama, and go out for dinner, Because enough of Umtana is going to vent to me. If they get comfortable enough and I'm lucky enough that your child likes me, there's going to be that thing where Umdanako is gonna vent to me like, mom and dad never hang out. Mom and dad don't even talk to each other proper. Now it's up to me now as a stepmom or as a girl. I'm gonna come to you and be like,
that's a responsibility to avoid.
Umdanako is not happy with your relationship with your baby mama. Go fix that shit. Now that's where my problem comes in, because now I'm literally pushing you back into the arms of the woman that you left. Because by saying to you, go back to her and fix your bullshit, because Lomdana ageko happy. In a way, I know it sounds selfish, and I don't want to push you back into the arms of her, but at the same time, I'm doing it for the child, because that's what the child needs.
Exactly.
And that's the responsibility that I do not want.
But again, a man without a child is so much less complicated. Because now you don't need to, there's no drama. Like, no. My man is my man. Some people are very, I'm very, what do you call it? not protective. What do you call it?
You're really
Overzealous. Yeah.
Clingy.
Yeah. No, in a way, yeah. I guess.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
You like
so
your
I
man
want my
here.
man. Yeah.
You want your man to be your
yeah,
man.
you know, and I hate sharing his affection, sharing his love in a way.
With anybody.
Yeah, especially with a child, because I cannot, like you said, I cannot compete.
With a child. And
Exactly.
it's stupid to even try and compete with a child.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because you'll never win that competition.
I will never win it.
And really, it's not even something that should ever be a competition. I feel like you should never ever put me and your child in a competition. And I think as a man now, you should never put me in a position where I feel like I'm competing with the child, because that's just stupid. I think if you ever make a woman feel like she has to compete with your child, you don't deserve that woman. Let her go. Let her go be with a real man, a man who's gonna be able to differentiate, a man who's gonna be able to separate that. Because I think any man that constantly makes you feel like you have to compete with them, babes, walk away. That's a red flag right there. But with that being said, I still stand my ground when I say I'm not exactly comfortable with the man having a child, especially when I don't have a child, because I really want to live my life. I want us to spend our money together. Remember, when you are a father, your money is between
Divided,
you.
yes.
It's between your child
Exactly.
as well. And there's that thing you would say, sometimes I'm gonna be like, babe, let's take a vacation, let's fuck a 50-50 and go on a
again,
vacation. And you're like, yo babe, I can't this month, you
People
know, who
parties.
ends or needs this and this and this and this and this.
And I need petty things. And so it's like, hey, baby, I need to do my hair. And you're like, yeah, but I need the money to buy. And I'm like,
And you know, that's
and
important.
I can't do, yeah, exactly.
And you can't do
And
anything about it because that's important. Obviously, the baby needs stuff. If doing your hair is nothing compared to the fact that Umdana needs
even
Mbappe
if a guy
and stuff like
spends
that.
so much in me, I'm gonna low-key feel guilty. Like,
I will thank you. I was
So
about to
there's
say
no
that
winning in
now.
this one.
Definitely, I was about to mention that point now. Because another thing with me is, I think the way I value a parent and child relationship, it's so deep to the point whereby I feel like I would feel bad to see you do all of these things for me while you have a child. Because for me now, I'm thinking, njengoba angithelele handbag, umntana what did he do for the child?
He could
have done this for umntana. I'm like thinking to myself, this child, he could have taken this money and went to, I don't know, somewhere in Nalangana and took this child out to go be and play games or go to an arcade or go to the movies with him. Instead, he's here spending all of this money on me. And men have this tendency of sometimes neglecting their kids for the woman that they love. They sometimes have that tendency of neglecting their children. And I think that's why for some men it's so easy to just leave Umdana with the baby mama and go be with another woman somewhere else and not even give a damn. So, and then send maybe 1,000 rand every 2 months. Because men do that. It's the reality that we live in right now. It's disgusting. And I think that's another thing that I don't ever want to have a responsibility, or that I don't want that on my shoulders, that burden. Yoguti, what if you're neglecting your child in the process of taking care of us or taking care of our home or trying to build our home together? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, even when you mentioned going to a vacation, like, okay, baby, let's go on a vacation, and then we go far away, and then now you're away from your child for like 6 weeks or something dramatic, and then I was like, what?
And now there's a lot.
Are you sending money home? What's happening? We're spending a lot here. What are you?
And that's why it sounds a bit selfish coming from where we're at, because if I'm on a vacation with you, I don't want you picking up the phone talking to your child every 30 minutes. But then at the same time, I want you to check up on your child every day.
That's my point.
Check up on your child, because you know, be a father.
I'm possessive.
But at the same time, you're on vacation with me. You can't be out here picking up the phone, calling up.
That's
your
why it's a
child
vacation.
You see, we're actually contradicting ourselves right now, and that's the funny thing about it,
because it's complicated, and I don't want to contradict myself like that.
And I don't want that. I really genuinely do not want that. So, which is why I'm like, this whole thing, you bring with a man that is a child, it comes with I think one situation that I personally think is the biggest exception is when the child's mother is not involved in the child's life. I will definitely take a man with a child when the child's mother is not involved. Say, for example, the mother is like, she's just like, look, this is your baby, take your baby and call up me, which is very seldom.
Yeah.
But it does happen. Some women are like, I'm not ready to have a child, I'm not ready to be a mother. I want to live my life. I want to go do this. I shouldn't done with the baby. Because I know I know a few fathers that are honestly single fathers. Like, I know a few.
Oh yeah.
I know I've met guys like that, so I know.
Death.
Okay, but sometimes I don't want to mention names right now, but there is one particular guy. I do know some guys, but there's one particular guy that I can think of right now whose baby mama is alive and she's kicking. She's fine. She's not a drug addict. She's not like doing bad things out there. She's proper. She's a proper woman, but she's just not that invested in the child's life. She's just not involved, guy Leongela. She's out there living her life, but she's not involved in this particular child's life. Or at least that's what he told me. Obviously, I don't know the story behind closed doors. I only know what he told you.
That's what he told you.
That's what he told me, girl. So he could have been lying, but he was literally talking about how now the child's mother is just not involved, and I really want my child to find a stable mother figure, because she's not a good mother figure, you know, because she's not there, she's not involved, she's absent. You see what I mean? So there's that part of it.
Okay,
and it does
that's
happen.
actually a bit different.
Exactly.
I
That's
think my
one
view
that
starts
I think is an
changing when it comes
exception.
to that. Yeah.
Because I would gladly take you in, because remember, if I'm now being put in a position where I actually find this man where the mother of the child is not
Besides, there's no
involved,
standards
I'm
now.
gonna
You
step
basically
in.
set your own standards as a mother, as a new mother.
Thank you. And this becomes now my child in a way. Automatically,
Actually, yeah.
this becomes my child, and I don't have to share my child with another woman. Do you know what I mean? There's no longer a thing you could see now. She's gonna, or
Now
this
we
child,
share the
he or she is gonna
responsibility. Just
go
me
between
and
me
you.
and you.
Yeah.
See, it's just me. It's all on me. I'm the child's mother. I make sure the child is fine. I can make decisions without consulting another woman. If I want to do something for the child or with the child, I can do that without having to be like, pick up the phone and be like, by the way, I want to do this with the baby this weekend. Are you comfortable with it? Are you okay with it? Because obviously when you become a stepmother, that's another thing you got to do, especially when the child is still young. You got to pick up the phone and ask the mom, is this okay? Is this fine? I want to do this. With
Would
your
you
permission,
would you
can
call
do
yourself
it?
a stepmother even when you're in that role?
I think I minus the stepmother when it comes to that. I would never want to call myself a stepmother to a child who doesn't have a mother. Even if the child is alive and living and kicking.
So it could be like adoption.
It could be like a way of adopting a child, but without the whole legal process of it. It's just that I'm adopting the child because the child came with my man. Obviously now that child automatically becomes my own. I would definitely love and take care of my as my own. I would not even want that child to kind of have this thing, you would see my mom is somewhere out there. You know, I think I'd work towards making them trust me and love me enough to make sure that they never feel that gap. You would see my real mother isn't here. Do you know what I mean? Because I think that's a different story. So that I would definitely take in, even in a case of death, definitely. If the mother passed on and this child and this man came with this child, I would definitely take it. Why not? I would definitely go for it. I think my problem is when the mother is in the picture and she's very much involved in the child's life. Super involved. She's a good mother. She's taking care of her child. She's there for her child. That's where the problem comes in. Because now there'll always be the thing. It almost feels like a competition even between me and the baby mama of who can do better, who can take care of the child best. And I'm not about to compete with the child's mother. That's ridiculous. I'm not about to do that. That is your child, my sister. We're not about to do that now. Now, every time when I want to do something for a child, I got to pick up the phone and call you. And that's a respect thing, by the way. It's a standard respect thing. I can't just take your child to China with me without telling you, hey, by the way, on a weekend, I want to take Enzo to China. Do you know what I mean? I got to consult with you, you know, and I think that's another thing that kind of bugs me. And then the child going back and forth between my house and your house and my house and your house. Girl, But Nakona, it does bring us down to a lot of things to consider. I think there are a lot of things that maybe people who actually have kids can contribute. I think this conversation would have been more nicer or more broader or more broader actually. Much broader if there was a woman who actually has a child in the room. If a baby mama was here with us and actually telling us the reality of it because she's living in it. I think that would have definitely made the conversation more broad, because right now it's just you and I looking at it from our perspectives of literally no kids. And what our expectations or what we think having a child would be like, or having a man who has a child would be like. But yeah, I mean, guys, there you have it. That's our topic for today. I mean, I think this is one topic that actually needs to be carried on, but with somebody that has experience. I don't think it should end here. Actually, I'm not satisfied with it ending here. I think I need to get us a baby mama. Okay, so I want to get the perspective of a baby mama, and I think maybe a baby daddy too. Honestly, I think I want to get both perspectives in terms of how they handle relationships and how it actually, or what the reality of it really is. So yeah. That is it for today's episode, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Got mega love for you guys. And in regards to this topic, I definitely do want views from other people. So please do comment down below on what your views are. And if any baby mama or baby daddy is willing to,
even if you disagree with the things we say,
even if you disagree, bring it on. I really want to hear the views. So if you are a baby mama or you are a baby daddy and you really want to set the record straight or bring your views on here, please let me know ASAP. Contact us. Like, we really would love to hear your guys' views. I think this topic doesn't end here. We're definitely not gonna end it here. It is definitely gonna carry on. So yeah, let us know. But for now, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening. And please don't forget to like this video and subscribe. And yeah, thank you so much, guys. Until next time.
LoungeRadio.co